Hi, welcome to Vicky Makes and Builds. Right, I've got a wee puzzle haul for you today. I actually had kind of a sudden influx of puzzles, new to me puzzles, right after Christmas, and there was some that I wasn't expecting, and there's a couple of others that I have bought as well. So I've got enough to do a little puzzle haul for you today. So I'm just going to dive right in and start with the ones that I've bought for myself. So that is this pile here. So firstly, I decided to add to my Ravensburger Abandoned puzzle collection. I have 3 so far. I've got the Hotel Vacancy, the Forgotten Arcade, and I've got the Gloomy Carnival, I think it's called. This one here is the Decaying Diner, which I really like. It's a bit more expensive out of some of the others. Some of them seem to be slightly harder to get hold of and more expensive, but you can get hold of this. It's just cost me just a wee bit more, but I really do like this one. So that's the Decaying Diner, and that's another one I'm going to add to my abandoned collection. I still have to get I think it's the Tattered Toy Store, the Deserted Department Store, and they're all the ones that are easy to get hold of. But there is one more, it's something, I think it's called Lost Empire or something like that, and that seems to be really hard to find. So I'll keep an eye out for that one, but hopefully I can finish my abandoned collection at some point and possibly move on to the Lost Places collection, because I quite like those as well. But anyway, this is a nice addition to that wee collection that I have got. The next one that I actually bought quite a while ago, but I'm only just revealing it now because it's the puzzle that we are using for the Battle of the YouTube Puzzlers 3. So the puzzle has now been revealed to everybody, and so I can show it to you now, even though I've had it in my cupboard for quite a while. So it's this one here. I've already built it, so you might hear some pieces rattling around inside. It's by Clementoni. We've gone back to 500 pieces on this one, and it is called the Blue Car. And it's a colour block puzzle, so it's quite a simple image. There's some nice obvious kind of lines separating different areas, which I like about it for speed puzzling. You've got a green kind of block of colour there, you've got a pink block of colour there, and of course you've got this blue car in the foreground. So there's some very obvious areas to sort into and things like that. I think this is a puzzle that suits me quite well for speed puzzling, but as I don't know how I've done yet in relation to the others in the battle, so we shall see on that one. There's just a week to go before the premieres go up on YouTube, so I am very excited. I can't wait. I always love the Battle of the YouTube Puzzlers. It's so much fun, and I do hope that as many of you as possible can join us for the fun and speedrun the puzzle if you can get hold of it. I know it's sold out in a few places now, I think, so it's obviously popular, but if you can get hold of it or you have it already, it'd be great if you could join us and fill out that Google form and just join in the fun. And if you don't like speed puzzling, that's fine as well. You can just put 0 in your time, and yeah, we'll all puzzle along together. I think that would be really great. So this is the Blue Car, the Battle of the YouTube Puzzlers 3 puzzle. Okay, so literally the rest of the puzzle haul is all puzzle gifts. So I've been really overwhelmed by the generosity. I mean, I received a lot of puzzles off one person, which I will get to shortly. But the other puzzle gifts that I'm going to start talking to you about first is these puzzles here. These are Blue Kazoo puzzles. Now, I have done Blue Kazoo on the channel before. I did the Round Earth puzzle. It must have been a couple of years ago now. And I really do love their space puzzles, their planet puzzles. I've got the Mini Moon, which is here. And I've also got Starfield, which is here. That looks really difficult. And I've done the colour wheel as well. So I'm familiar with Blue Kazoo. Now, those puzzles that I have done by Blue Kazoo in the past are older puzzles that they've brought out, and since I've done those puzzles, they've brought out a whole new range of puzzles that are made from sustainable materials. They are entirely sustainable throughout, and there is no plastic used in them whatsoever. They have a black cardboard backing on them now. I haven't opened any of these up yet to look at the pieces, but I will be opening one up just to show you a picture, and you can see maybe see the differences between the pieces. They sent me 3 puzzles. Now, it's quite a funny story because I had no idea that these were coming. And what ended up happening was the only reason I found out that they were coming was because I suddenly got a dispatch confirmation email that said, your puzzles from Blue Kazoo are coming. And I thought, I didn't order any Blue Kazoo puzzles, so I was a little bit confused. And I looked at the email and I could see what the puzzles were, and I really liked them, but I thought, I don't understand how this has happened. So I looked down and it quickly became obvious that they were a gift from Blue Kazoo, but they hadn't told me they were sending them until they had sent them. Now, that's fine in and of itself, but what I also noticed in that email was that they had sent it to an old address that I lived in the last time I ordered a Blue Kazoo puzzle, so I had to really quickly get in touch with them and just say, thank you so much for sending me these, but you've got the wrong address. Please can you send it to this address? And obviously you can see it all worked out fine. I have them here now, but yeah, so it took me by surprise. It was a very, very pleasant surprise for the new year. They just sent me these puzzles. So there are 3, and I'll show you what they are. So the first one is this one. It's 1,000 pieces and it's called Bike Race. So that one looks interesting. Not necessarily an image I would have chosen to do for myself, but it looks like it might be quite fun to do. Then we've got this one here. This is another 1,000 piece puzzle. I really love the image on this. It's really, really colourful. There's lots of lines and things like that making up this scenic landscape with like a sunset. This one is called Out West, and I really do like this one a lot. So they sent me that one as well. And lastly, and this one I'm really quite excited about, they sent me this one here. It's another one of the planets. This one is Jupiter, and it looks tough. I'm just looking at the full image on the back of the puzzle and it looks really tough. There's a lot of texture and things on it, but it's all kind of similar colours. I think it's going to be difficult, but I'm really looking forward to tackling this. So they sent me Jupiter as well, and they also sent me a nice wee card that says, hi there, we wanted to send you a little puzzle gift because, well, we think you're pretty great, which is very nice. Please feel free to enjoy yourself or pass on to a friend or frenemy, depending on the puzzle. Either way, we'd love your feedback. So it's going to be really, really good to try out the new sustainable puzzles and compare maybe to the Earth one that I did or the colour wheel and see how that goes. As I say, I've still got some of the ones that came out before these ones did still to do. I've got the mini moon, so maybe it'd be cool to perhaps build the mini moon. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm thinking I might put these to the vote. I like them all, but I'm a bit undecided really on which one to build on the channel for a video. So I will pop up a vote pretty soon on the community tab and you can let me know which one you'd most like to see me do on the channel. We've got Jupiter, we've got Out West, and we've got Bike Race. So that's Blue Kazoo. Thank you so much, Blue Kazoo, for sending those through to me. Okay, so moving on to my last pile of puzzle gifts. This one was a really, really generous gift from one of my patrons called Sam from Scotland, who sent me a box full of puzzles. I knew most of them were coming, we were sort of messaging back and forth initially about 2 puzzles specifically that I was really, really excited to get. I'll get to those. But then eventually Sam kept getting in touch and saying, oh, I've got these other puzzles as well that you might like. So I got a box full of them, which was so, so nice and generous. So I just want to thank you so much, Sam, for sending these to me. I really can't wait to do them. I'm going to start by showing you these 2 because these are both Christmas puzzles and they will be done at some point, but probably now not till the end of the year because obviously Christmas has just gone. Unless, of course, there is some sort of puzzle along Christmas puzzles in July thing, which I think happens on occasion. Unless there's something like that happens, these will not be built until Christmas now, but I'll show you anyway. I've got a Wentworth wooden puzzle here. Now, I love Wentworth puzzles. I've not done one in a while. Well, actually I have. I did a peacock puzzle, which I didn't do a video on, but I did do a Wentworth, but I think it was 250 pieces, and that was a beautiful puzzle. This one is also 250 pieces. It's rectangular, and it's a collage basically of different Christmas ornaments. We've got baubles, we've got a Christmas tree, we've got a gingerbread house, we've got a Santa Claus, we've got presents, and all things Christmas. And I can only assume that it will have the usual wooden puzzle whimsies that you get. I mean, my Rainbow Feathers puzzle didn't have whimsies, but that was all, it was maybe 2 or 3 of the same shape. So yeah, so these are all different kind of random, they're not that random actually, these shapes. They're a bit more like normal jigsaw pieces. That one's quite random. Not found an actual whimsy yet though. Wait, let me just see if I can find a whimsy. I'm sure there must be. Oh yes, there's a whimsy, that's a letter W. And oh, we've got a snowflake. And yeah, various other ones. So yeah, the usual whimsies, got Santa Claus there. So that looks like it's going to be a fun one to do at Christmas. I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, and this one is called Festive Ornaments, by the way. And there was a second Christmas puzzle in this haul, and that is this one here. It's a shaped puzzle. It's in the shape of an ornament, and it's like a stitched ornament. So if you look closely at it, you can see it's made of maybe felt, and it's got all these little tiny details, Christmassy details stitched onto it. There's a bow at the top, and there's a wee Christmas scene in the middle. It says on the front, the shape of the ornament is the shape of the puzzle, 29 inches tall, over 500 pieces. And it says outlines, but then on the side of the box, it says outlines by Springbok. So this has obviously been made by Springbok. I'm not sure what the outlines refers to, unless it's some kind of range of puzzles that Springbok have done. It looks really fun. It looks really fun, and I'm excited to have another Springbok puzzle because I've got 2 now. And I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm just going to open the box and just check the pieces out, because normally Springbok puzzles are random cut, and it looks as though this might be the same. Yeah, got this dark greeny blue card on the back, really thick chunky pieces, again random cut. So that is going to be fun to do again, probably at Christmas time. And I think the pieces are quite big, so I mean 29 inches tall, it's going to be quite a big puzzle when it's all done. So I'm going to put those back in there. I couldn't see a year on the box of when this puzzle came out. It looks like it might be an older one, but I couldn't honestly see a year of manufacture. No, so I don't know what year this came from. I might have to do some Googling on that and see if I can find out. And if I do find out, I will pop a graphic up on the screen just now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this one as well later in the year. The other thing that's nice about this is on the back of the box is actually a poem called Sleigh Ride, a Christmas poem. So again, I won't read that just now because we've already had Christmas, but when I do come to do this later in the year, I will read this poem out. I've read it myself just now, and it's really, really lovely. So yeah, that was a lovely addition to this box. I'm really looking forward to that one. So now I'm going to tackle this pile here, which are a stack of Ravensburger puzzles that were in the box. So first of all, we have a puzzle moment. A 200-piece puzzle moment. I have done only one other 200-piece puzzle moment, and that was the mixtape, which I really, really enjoyed. I also have the 99-piece puzzle moment llama and the 300-piece New York flowers. I'm going to try and get more puzzle moments because they're really nice little bite-sized puzzles to do on my dining table, which is a bit smaller, and, you know, on my lap on a board. They're quite nice to do of an evening. So this one is called, now I'm just going to try and find the name of it, Wood. It's just called Wood by, it says Getty Images. So yeah, you can see why it's called that. It's basically a forest. So you can see the tops of fir trees, I guess, And in the foreground, you've got these two taller dark ones, and then in the kind of the middle ground, there's a slightly lighter green row of trees, and then in the background, it's kind of foggy, and there's more trees behind the fog. So it actually looks quite difficult, this puzzle. It's really just trees. As I say, you can see why it's called wood. So that one will be good to do. The next one is this one. I was really excited to see this one. I didn't know this was coming. This is a 500-piece Circle of Colours Ravensburger Puzzle. This one's called Pizza. Now, it's a round puzzle, that's hence the Circle of Colours. I've done a couple of other Circle of Colours puzzles, 3 in total. I've done donuts. I have done Ocean, which I've done that more than once, but I did that at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. And I've also done Pokeball, which was another World Championship puzzle from last year. And this one is called Pizza, but it's a pizza made up of lots of vegetables. So around the outside, you've got green veg, you've got broccoli, there's olives. There looks to be some basil leaves, I think, and peppers and then on the inner circle next to that you've got some sweet corn, and then you move into the orange vegetables, there's some carrots, and then the reds, and then there's purple kind of cabbage leaves in the middle. So it actually reminds me a lot of Pokeball. There were a lot of vegetables and things on that as well. And you can just see around the edge the plate thing that the pizza is sitting on and the crust. So I'm really looking forward to that. Might speed run that just to do a little bit of practice and keep my hand in with the speed puzzling. So I was really, really chuffed to get that. And speaking of puzzles from last year's WJPC, here are 2 more that were featured at last year's WJPC, one of which I have done, the other of which I haven't. So I'm going to start with the one I haven't done. It's this one here. It's a panorama puzzle. They're both from the team events at the Worlds. This one is called Berlin at Night. And you've basically got a dark sky. There's a sort of a colour block of purples and blues going across in arcs across the background of the puzzle. You've got a hot air balloon there, there's some clouds and stars, and then at the foreground here you've got some buildings, presumably representative of Berlin. There's a big wheel here as well, and yeah, it's a panorama image. So this one was from qualifying round A in the teams. I was not in qualifying round A, so I never got the choice to do this puzzle. I was qualifying round B, but this one was from that in the teams event at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. I like the look of this one. I really like the purple background contrasted against the yellow, and I like the way the sky is filled with things. So there's not just the balloons and the clouds, there's some stars as well. So that kind of makes it a little bit less of a dense area of solid colour to build. So I was pleased to get that. This one I'm in 2 minds about. This one I did build at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships in qualifying round B with my teammates Donna Louise, Jeanette and Juby, World Pieces. And it's this one here, which you may recognise. Okay, so the actual name of this one is A Day in Paris, otherwise known as Orange Hell. This became known as Orange Hell because, well, it was quite hell to build. Quite hellish to build. So we picked this one thinking it was going to be great, you know, that we'd do it really quickly. But actually this orange sky, the big blocks of orange and stuff, turned out to be really, really challenging and actually took us forever. This was the first of the 2 puzzles that we did in our round. And so we did finish this one, but unfortunately because we took so long doing this one, we ended up not quite finishing the second one, which we did as fast as we could. I think we only had about 50 pieces or something left to put in that puzzle. But yeah, this one unfortunately just sucked away all our time, and yeah, henceforth became known as Orange Hell to all who attempted to do this one. So I don't really know how I feel about having it. I will probably do it again without the pressure of, you know, being timed. I'll probably do it again, but I may have to wait until the trauma has faded a little with time. But anyway, that's the other Ravensburger puzzle that I was sent in this package. And then there are these two here. Now, this one here is really cute. I wasn't expecting this puzzle at all. It is called Mini Munchies. It's in a tiny little box and it's a 374 piece puzzle. Now, given how small the box is and how small this puzzle is, 170 by 220 millimeters. So that's 17 by 22 centimetres. So it's a wee mini puzzle, but there are 372 pieces in it. So that tells me that the pieces are teeny tiny. Now it's sealed, so I haven't opened it yet to look at the pieces, but it does say on the back, box of chocks. Oh, the image is of chocolates. Basically, little chocolates all just in a pile. So it says box of chocks, mini munchies puzzle. Testing your willpower to the limit, this mouth-watering puzzle is all set to tickle your taste buds with a choice of 9 ever so tasty candy-themed puzzles to choose from. The hardest decision will be which to take and which to leave behind. Warning, this puzzle should only be attempted as part of a calorie-controlled diet. Enjoy. Do you know, I'm tempted to open this up, and I actually thought it might say something on the back about the size of the pieces, but it doesn't. It just talks about how it's going to make me want chocolate. So I'm just going to quickly open this now and see if I was right about the puzzle pieces being tiny. Let's see if I can actually get it off. The lid off. Oh, it's really tightly put on. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, that is weenie. Absolutely weenie. Okay, so I've actually got a puzzle. Okay, and there's a little sheet in here as well showing the other options. There's lots of licorice, heavenly humbugs, candy curls, mini eggs, sweet dreams, and party cakes. So, oh, and bubblegum balls. and jelly bears. So there's quite a few options here, but the pieces are so small. I'm gonna need a magnifying glass or something to build this. But what it does remind me of, this is made by Cheatwell Games. And I actually have a Cheatwell Games puzzle. It's been on my shelf for quite a while. I found it in a charity shop. It's 1,000 pieces. It says it's the world's smallest jigsaw puzzle. I don't think it actually is, but it is small. And yeah, the pieces are the same size. They are just itty bitty. I think probably I'm going to need to do these puzzles before before my eyesight deteriorates too badly and I'm rendered unable to do them anymore. But I might start with the mini munchies because there's less pieces. This one's 1,000 pieces. It's a picture of the Sydney Opera House. So yeah. This could be my eye strain puzzle, but we shall see. It doesn't look like an easy image either, all those chocolates, lots of brown. But yeah, it does look fun. So I'll put that one back on my shelf. And that is my mini munchies puzzle. And I find that I now also have another Elena Essex puzzle to do. I love Elena Essex puzzles. I very recently did one for my Christmas puzzle. And that was called Winter Spirit. It was one of her new collection. This one has been out a little while, I think. It is called Jungle. So again, most Elena Essex puzzles are based on, if not all I think, are based on colours. There's often a gradient element to them. Winter Spirit was no exception. There was also Christmas Cornucopia, which I did the year before at Christmas, which was a similar idea. And I did the Circle Bird Paradise puzzle, which was also a gradient, and I've loved all 3 puzzles, so I'm really excited to do this one. This one's a dark background and it's almost neon. I'm looking at the image on the back here. It's almost neon colours, and it goes from the bottom left from sort of greens, you've got some leaves and there's a snake and a bird, and then it moves across into blues at the bottom. At the top you've got some monkeys and another parrot, which are sort of orangey coloured, and then moving across you've got more blues and pinks and purples as well. So it's all jungle themed stuff with the dark background, and in the foreground here, silhouetted, you've got what looks like a panther, I think, maybe a panther. So I'm looking forward to that one. That one looks really, really beautiful. So I will enjoy doing that one at some stage in the future. Now, these two puzzles, these are the last two that were sent to me from Sam, and I'm really excited about these because they are part of a set of puzzles that I am collecting. They are Crypt puzzles. Now, I already have a lot of Crypt puzzles. You'll see gaps on the shelf because I've taken a couple off. But I've got the gold and the black, I've got the neon green, I've got the universe glow, I have already completed the pink and the gradient and the metallic mint. Now, there were more older Crypt puzzles that I didn't have, and I had started to collect those, starting with this one. These are called Think Crypts. So they're in older style boxes, and I managed to find the Think Crypt 2 on eBay. This one has 631 pieces, so it's the same piece cut pattern as the gold and the gradient, but the pieces in this one are like a lovely light blue, almost a purpley colour. Really, really love the colour on this puzzle, the Think Crypt 2. So I've got that. It also came with the guide, as all the other Crypts do. So when Sam got in touch and said that they had Think Crypt 1 and Think Crypt 3, I was very, very excited because they were two that I didn't have. And so my collection for the Crypts is now almost complete. Now, I'll go into more detail about these when I actually come to do videos on them, but the Think Crypt 1 is basically, it's 654 pieces, so that means it will be the same as the silver and the pink Crypt puzzles. Now, I've got the pink Crypt puzzle assembled in front of me, and I've got the silver Crypt puzzle here, which I haven't assembled yet, but the reason I've got that out is just to compare pieces a little bit, because at first appearance the Think Crypt 1 looks as though it's white. It looks as though it's a white Crypt puzzle, and indeed that's actually what colour I thought it was, but when you open the box to look, the pieces actually are more of a silver colour. Now, that basically means this could really be just the same as the newer silver Crypt, and I'm not really certain of the thinking behind that, quite why they would re-release it. Now, I'm just going to open up the silver Crypt to compare the colours of these pieces, because if they're the exact same, I'm not certain I understand quite why they've made two, an older and a newer, of the same cut pattern, of the same colour. Like, it would have made more sense to me for this one to be white, but let's have a wee look. I need to be careful not to mix them up. Yeah, they just look the exact same. So essentially I'm thinking I might have two of the same puzzle but in a different box, which is really quite odd to me. But for the purposes of the collector in me, I'm still glad I have it. And it would be interesting actually to maybe compare them anyway to see if there's any maybe slight differences in piece shape. I could perhaps compare the guides. This one, yeah, the guide's in the silver Crypt box, because the silver Crypt that I bought actually came from a charity shop. So this one has the guide. This one also has the guide. So I could maybe compare the guides and see if there's any differences. That would be quite an interesting thing to do. I do need to do a more of a deep dive into these Crypts. But that's the Think Crypt 1 that was in the box. So I'll leave that there. Then we've got the Think Crypt 3, which is 736 pieces. So that puts it at the same piece count as the black and the neon green and the metallic mint, which I've already done. And although it is pink, and like with the silver ones, there's already a pink Crypt puzzle, but the pink Crypt puzzle that I have done, this one in front of me, is the 654 piece cut pattern. So at the very least, even though they're both pink, they have different cut patterns, which I like. I actually think though that this might be a slightly different shade of pink, which again is why I've got this one out. I want to compare the shades of the pink. So the 654 piece pink Crypt is a very, very vivid, bright pink. These pieces in the Think Crypt 3 are, oh, they're much darker. More of a kind of dark, dusky pink. So that's really nice. So that is essentially a different colour. It's a pink puzzle, but it's a different shade of pink. So I'm really pleased about that. And obviously the Think Crypt 2 is a different colour. So yeah, so I mean, again, not certain of the thinking behind the Think Crypt 1 and the Silver Crypt, but this one is definitely a different shade of pink. So I'm really pleased and excited to do that one. There are a couple of other crypts that I don't have. One is quite difficult to get hold of. I am on the lookout for it, but I have not been able to find it yet. It's called Colourful Spiral, and it's one of the few crypts that actually have an image on. It's not solid colour. So there is that one, and I've known about that, but there's also another Think Crypt, and it's called the Think Crypt 700, which is interesting again because it says on it that it's 700 pieces. But it actually isn't. So I've just grabbed my iPad because I had some discussions with Sam about this. Again, we talked back and forth quite a lot about these crypt puzzles. And basically it transpires that the Think Crypt 700 isn't actually 700 pieces. It's 654 pieces, which puts it at the same cut pattern and amount of pieces as the Silver and the Pink Crypts. Now, another thing that's interesting about it is that the Crypt 700 is also silver. So there are 3 silver crypt puzzles out there, all of which have the same cut pattern. I don't understand it. And one of which says that it's 700 pieces, but isn't actually 700 pieces. I was quite excited about that one because I thought that that was going to be a new, like a different cut pattern, one I'd never done before, but apparently not. And Sam actually sent me a picture comparing the 654 piece Think Crypt 1 against a little section of the Think Crypt 700, and I'll show you the picture. What Sam found was that 4 of the pieces on the circular part of that puzzle, they were essentially the same in both crypts, the same shape, the same main features, but 2 of the legs at the bottom were thinner in one of the puzzles and slightly wider in the other puzzle. So I'm not sure if there was an alteration made to accommodate for less likelihood of breaking the pieces or something like that. So it's interesting to see these wee slight differences, but I'm at a bit of a loss as to why they chose to bring out 3 silver crypt puzzles. But anyway, for the purposes of completing a collection, I do not yet have the Think Crypt 700. I don't yet have the Colourful Spiral. And I don't have a custom crypt puzzle. You can get custom crypts now, so you can get any colour you want basically put on them, which is great, and which I think I will probably do at some point. This is another thing I'm undecided on. I don't know at the moment whether to get yellow or purple. Then again, I quite like the idea of an orange one, so this might be something else I have to put to the vote at some point. Pick the colour of my custom crypt puzzle. So yeah, if you include the custom crypts in that collection, then there are 3 that I'm missing, unless anybody knows of any others that I haven't yet mentioned. So yeah, so they were a really, really, really exciting puzzle gift for me. And again, I want to thank you so much, Sam, for sending me all these puzzles and for all the information you've sent as well about the crypts. I know you've done them yourself, so you'll know a lot about them as well. I've done the pink, the metallic mint and the gradient. They're all still assembled. I want to try and keep my crypts assembled if I possibly can, but I don't want to tape them. I really like the idea of mixing and matching the pieces across the cut patterns. I think that's going to be a fun thing to do, but I'll build a few more of them first before I start playing around with that kind of thing. So that is it. That's all my new puzzles that I had to show you. I really hope you enjoyed that puzzle haul. I hope you like the puzzles. Are you looking forward to any of them in particular? Are there any that you really like the look of, that you'd love to see me build on the channel the most? Or hear more about? I would love to hear your thoughts on this puzzle haul, so please do leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, then please do subscribe. I want to again thank Sam very much for sending me this giant box of puzzles. Thank you to Blue Kazoo for sending me these gorgeous puzzles. Keep an eye out on the community tab for my vote on which of the 3 puzzles you'd like to see me build on the channel. I'd like to try and tackle one of them soon. I'm not gonna influence you by telling me my personal well, I'm sort of torn between 2 of them. There's one I really want to build, but I'm a bit scared of, and there's another one I really like the look of that I would like to build. But I'm going to let you choose on that one. So look out for the vote coming up very soon for which puzzle by Blue Kazoo I will build on the channel. And yeah, remember, Blue Car is the puzzle for the Battle of the YouTube Puzzlers 3. You have until the 29th of February to get a hold of that puzzle and build it and fill out the form if you would love to join in. So there's plenty of time to join us for that. The premieres will be on the 27th and 28th of January, so just a week to go. I'm so excited. So yeah, the Blue Car by Clementoni. If you can get hold of one, if you can maybe buy one, or borrow one from a friend or something. I don't know. I know that they're getting a bit scarce, but it'd be great if you could join us for that. Otherwise, just, yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think about these puzzles and which ones you're looking forward to me building. And I think that's it from me. So thank you so much for watching. A quick thank you to my patrons and my members for your continued support. And I will wish you all happy puzzling. And I'll see you next time. Bye!